Whoa, we don't have time for that. We gotta get straight into the review of Kōdo Princess EX on the Nintendo Switch. And this is a port remaster of the 2012 Kōdo Princess on the 3DS. And what originally attracted me to Kōdo Princess? It was because this is a Guardian Heroes style of game with some of the creators of Guardian Heroes lending their hand to creating it. So realistically, it's a side view on 3 different layers, action RPG with a lot of different characters, and I was totally into trying this game out. And I played the original game, this game right here, and I liked it. I didn't mind it. I thought it was a pretty average fighter. I didn't enjoy it as much as Guardian Heroes, but I thought it had a lot to offer. And it's really interesting. When I was getting ready to talk about the new version of the game, I decided to go and capture some footage of the trailer of the original. And I was reading some comments from people, and there's a lot of people that absolutely love this game. And the one thing that I will say is, Kōdo Princess was a sleeper hit. I think the game has a little bit of rareability to it now. And I think it has a bit of a cult audience. And I talked to Rob the other day and I said, Rob, what did you think of the game? He's like, you know what, I didn't mind it. It was one of those things, it was fun, but it wasn't unbelievable. It's kind of one of those things. It's really interesting. It was a very kind of average style game. Definitely not bad, but definitely not great. It fell somewhere in between. So now, I remember reading a couple of months ago, I'm like, oh my god, there's another Kōdo Princess coming out called EX on the Nintendo Switch. It's a port remaster of this version. I'm like, well, hell, I have to write to Nicholas, and they sent me this copy here, so I want to thank them for that. And I was really interested to see what this was like now on the Nintendo Switch in handheld mode and on the TV. Well, first of all, before we get into that, I just want to show you the packaging really close up here. Really cool. And the reason why I want to show you the packaging is because it comes with a few things that I thought were rather entertaining. One was a mini CD. Can you believe that in the year 2018, we're still getting mini CDs? Like, wow, that's crazy. I'm guessing this is for the main theme song, which is a good main theme song, by the way. Here's the other interesting thing. It comes, a Nintendo Switch game really, comes with an instruction manual. Usually you open up Nintendo Switch games and you just get the carts. So to see an instruction manual is a rarity nowadays, and one that is in color. So bravo for the packaging and the artwork. And that's the one thing I will say about Kōdo Princess that I really do like, is I do like the artwork. I absolutely adored the artwork on the original, and we're getting the same artwork here again. So what is new? What is different about this version of the game? Well, you do get the new high definition graphics. They have done a little bit of work here, upscaling everything. Some of the main characters still look a little spritey, you know, a little bit bitty, but they're not too bad, even on a television. And the backgrounds have been cleaned up quite a bit. There's a local co-op version of the game, so me and my wife were playing it all weekend, and we had a great amount of fun just going in there and starting to level up different characters. I'll get into all that in a little bit. From the press release I was given, they've updated the AI. The AI is smarter. There's an updated in the balance of the entire game, in some of the damage that enemies take and give out. And they also say better overall playability. Now, I have to get into this, and I have to talk about how the game plays and the core foundation of it. First of all, there's a campaign mode. So you can pick your main character, and you pick your main character, who is Princess Solange of Deluxia. And she's a scantily clad female with a gigantic sword that has set out to rid the land of all the monsters and recruit a small team along the way. So this is a hack and slash beat 'em up style RPG. So your characters are on 3 levels, so you can hop between the foreground, the middle ground, and the background to fight enemies on different planes. And at first, I want to say, you feel you can just press buttons and mash buttons. You really want to do that. Me and my wife at first were doing that. I'm like, no. I'm like, look at the command list. And we went to the command list, and I'm like, oh, so there's a lot you can defend, but there's also a lot of down attack buttons. So remember that. Go check your command list. Don't just go in there blindly smashing buttons. You can do it that way as well, but I'd recommend against it. So as I say, there's various combos you can use. There's a lock-on and burst systems that can increase damage onto your enemies as well. I gotta say, the enemies are really imaginative and they're a lot of fun, especially the later you get into the game. The backgrounds and all that are phenomenal. I'm not unhappy with that. Some of the tavern levels, some of the forest levels really look beautiful, and they do take me back to Guardian Heroes in a big way. So there's the campaign mode where you go through the story and you recruit other characters, and it's a little bit of fun, and the characters are always joking around with each other, and it's always kind of light and very humorous. That's what this type of game is. So there is the campaign mode. You can just go and finish that game. The interesting thing about this game is that you can also, any enemy that you defeat, you can recruit them into your roster of characters that you can use throughout the game. So any enemy that you defeat, you can use that character in many different modes and level them up. There's 50 characters, there's a lot to collect. Each character has their RPG stats, which you can increase throughout the game, but you can also increase them through your weapons and items. So whatever items you have can raise your vitality. Some will also lower your defense. So you just have to be very skillful and mindful about how you use equipment throughout the game. There's a lot of different modes here. You can go online, play with your friends. There's a versus mode, a ranked versus mode. I gotta say, during this review process, I couldn't get online with any of these things, so I couldn't find any other players to play with, so I can't say what the online system is like. I'm gonna say that right now. For anybody who's looking for a real grindfest game, a really grindfest beat 'em up game, this is pretty good. Here's where I come in with my negative gripe about the game, and I do have a negative gripe about the game. It was a negative gripe in the original game as well. I just feel that compared to a game like Guardian Heroes, which is fast and kinetic and really a lot of fun, Code of Princess has everything going for it except that speedability, that fast combat. The combat is very slow and very cumbersome. It feels like sometimes you're waving around your swords and it doesn't feel very fast, and sometimes it just feels very slow. I just find the combat is very slow in the game, unfortunately. But it kind of picks up a little when you have a friend online. But there's one thing I want to say as well. Oh my god, the insanity of voice sound effects, battle sound effects, and music, and just intensity all play out. And it's just, sometimes I had to turn the volume down because it just gets absolutely nuts. But for a lot of people out there, they may enjoy this slower style of combat. I kind of grew up with Guardian Heroes, and so I kind of got used to that style of combat. This is its own game, and I think it does really well. There's a lot of amazing combos in there and all that, but you can't learn new combos. You always have your original stuff. You just build up your stats throughout the games. That's the only thing that really changes about your characters, and also your weapons. It's a fun game. I found it, like, when I was traveling, I had to do a bit of traveling over the weekend, and I was playing it, and I just had the volume off, and I was just mindlessly bashing things, leveling up my characters. It's a lot of fun. There's quest modes to go on. There's co-op to play with your friends. There's a lot here to do. There's 50 characters that you can collect and level all of them up, and there's no shortage of levels or ways to level up your characters. But overall, I found the game is a very average game. It's fun. It has its moments. The music is pretty good. The sound effects it gets kind of chaotic together a little bit. But overall, I think this is a definite 7 out of 10 for sure. And for anybody who loved the original, oh my god, this game is absolutely for you 100%. And for any people who are kind of on the fence wondering about it, it's not a full price game as well. So that's another positive to put towards this game. And for me, I enjoyed the artwork, and I enjoyed the level design, and I enjoyed the history of Code of Princess when I played the original, and I wanted that again here, and I definitely got it, and for that reason I did enjoy the game. So anyways guys, until next time.